Hello, bookers. Welcome to Let's Book. Have you ever wondered why understanding U.S. laws is crucial for travelers? Well, let's dive right in and explore this important topic. I finished courses about laws, calling with lawyers in course or without courses. I directly read the U.S. laws. And I chose these 4 laws topic for you. And it will help you a lot. Understanding U.S. laws can also make your travel experience more enjoyable and less stressful. It can help you navigate your daily interactions and activities with confidence. Knowing the laws can enable you to protect your rights, avoid misunderstandings, and feel more at ease during your stay in every state. So whether you're planning a short vacation or a long stay, getting a basic understanding of U.S. laws is a good move. It's a bit like packing your suitcase. Just as you wouldn't forget your essentials, don't leave home without arming yourself with some knowledge of the laws of your destination. Knowing is half the battle, and with U.S. laws, it can make your travel experience smoother and safer. When it comes to your private life, what should you know about U.S. laws? Let's dive in and explore some fascinating aspects of U.S. laws that directly touch upon your private life. Privacy, a fundamental human right, is highly valued and fiercely protected under the U.S. legal framework. This protection spans across various aspects, including data protection, surveillance, and trespassing. Firstly, let's touch upon data protection. In the digital age, your personal information is more valuable than ever. The United States takes this issue seriously. Various laws, such as the Privacy Act of 1974 and the Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act, HIPAA, protect your personal data from unauthorized access and misuse. These laws regulate how organizations can collect, store, and use your personal information, ensuring that your privacy is not compromised in the process. Moving on to surveillance, it's essential to know that your right to privacy extends to being free from unwarranted surveillance. The Fourth Amendment to the U.S. Constitution protects citizens from unreasonable searches and seizures. This means that, in most cases, any form of surveillance or search by the government requires a warrant, and this warrant must be supported by probable cause. This could be as simple as not being subject to random searches at a park, or as complex as protection against unwarranted wiretaps or online surveillance. Lastly, trespassing. Now, this might seem straightforward. No one should enter your property without your permission. But did you know that in the United States, trespassing laws also protect you from unwanted intrusions into your private life? This means that activities such as stalking, harassment, or even peeping into your window can be considered a form of trespassing and are punishable under U.S. law. But it's not just about the laws. It's about the rights these laws protect. The right to be left alone, the right to control who has access to your personal information, the right to be free from unwarranted surveillance, and the right to enjoy your property without interference. These rights are the cornerstone of a democratic society and are deeply embedded in the U.S. legal system. So, what does this mean for you? It means that you can live your life, secure in the knowledge that your privacy is protected. Whether you are a U.S. citizen, a resident, or a traveler passing through, these laws apply to you, and your privacy matters, and U.S. laws are designed to protect it. Navigating the complex world of medicine and healthcare laws in the U.S. can be daunting, but we're here to simplify it. Let's dive right in. First off, prescription drugs. In the United States, prescription drugs are regulated by the Food and Drug Administration, or FDA for short. This means that certain medications can only be obtained with a valid prescription from a licensed healthcare provider. It's important to note that in some situations, sharing prescription medications is considered can lead to serious consequences. Next, let's talk about healthcare access. Everyone in the US, regardless of citizenship status, has the right to emergency medical care. Hospitals are required to stabilize and treat anyone who comes in with a medical emergency, regardless of their ability to pay. However, non-emergency healthcare access can be a different story, often depending on factors like insurance coverage and financial means. Speaking of insurance, medical insurance in the US is primarily private, with government programs like Medicare and Medicaid serving certain populations, such as the elderly and low-income individuals. While the Affordable Care Act, also known as Obamacare, has made strides in increasing healthcare coverage, not everyone is required to have insurance. However, having insurance can significantly reduce out-of-pocket healthcare costs. To further complicate matters, health insurance plans can vary greatly in terms of what they cover and how much they cost. It's essential to understand your plan's details, including your co-pays, deductibles, and what services are covered. Now let's touch on the legal consequences of violating these medical laws. For failing to disclose medical conditions or providing false information to obtain medical care or insurance can also result in legal repercussions. While all this may seem overwhelming, there are resources available to help you understand and navigate these laws. Various government websites offer valuable information, and many hospitals and clinics have staff available to answer questions and provide guidance. Remember, while medical laws in the US can be complex, they are in place to protect the health and safety of everyone. It's important to respect these laws and seek professional advice if you're unsure about anything. In a nutshell, understanding the medical laws in the US is crucial, especially if you're visiting or planning to stay for an extended period. In medicine, there is no such a thing as breaking your right with doing the medicine. Some policies like Common Rule 45 CFR 46, this federal policy governs the protection of human subjects in research. Also, Hippocratic Oath, which is an oath of physicians, their job it is. It's not just about avoiding legal trouble, it's about ensuring you have access to the care you need when you need it. A lot of laws directly protect your right and protection, including freedom of health. And slave workers are banned. Staying on the right side of medical laws ensures your health and well-being while you're in the US. So keep yourself informed, ask questions, and don't hesitate to seek help if you need it. The US is a melting pot of diverse cultures and beliefs, but what does US law say about your freedom of belief? In the United States, the freedom of belief is one of the most treasured rights. A lot of rights are protecting your freedom of belief. This means that the government can't endorse or favor a particular religion, nor can it interfere with a person's practice of their faith. But what does this mean in practice? It means that in the United States, you're free to follow any religion or belief system you choose, or none at all. You have the right to practice your religion in the way you see fit, as long as it doesn't infringe on the rights of others or break any other laws. This includes everything from attending religious services to wearing religious attire to observing religious holidays. The freedom of belief isn't limited to religion either. It also covers other deeply held beliefs, whether you're a Christian, atheist, an agnostic, or a fervent believer in other. Your right to hold and express these beliefs is protected by law. Another important aspect of freedom of belief is the right to peaceful assembly. This means that you have the right to gather with others who share your beliefs, whether it's for a religious service, a political rally, or a social cause. Again, this right is protected as long as your assembly doesn't infringe on the rights of others or break any other laws. But just because these rights are protected by law, it doesn't mean that they're always respected in practice. There have been, and continue to be, instances where people's freedom of belief is challenged. This is where the legal protections for these rights come into play. If your freedom of belief is violated, you can take legal action to defend your rights. In the United States, there are many legal avenues you can pursue if your freedom of belief is violated. These include filing a complaint with the U.S. Department of Justice, filing a lawsuit in federal court, or seeking help from a civil rights organization. The key is to know your rights and to be ready to defend them if necessary. So to wrap up, the freedom of belief is a fundamental right in the United States, protected by with a lot of laws. This right extends to religion and the right to peaceful assembly. And if these rights are violated, there are legal protections in place to help you defend them. Freedom of belief is a cornerstone of US society, and the laws reflect that. Freedom of speech is a key principle in the US. But do you know the extent and limitations of this right? Let's dive in and uncover the intricacies of this fundamental freedom. At its core, freedom of speech is enshrined in the United States, promising that Congress shall make no law abridging the freedom of speech. This right is a cornerstone of American democracy. However, freedom of speech is not absolute. There are certain boundaries that, when crossed, can lead to legal consequences. For instance, speech that incites violence or causes a clear and present danger is not protected. While the federal government sets the broad strokes for freedom of speech, individual states can also enact laws that further define what is and isn't protected speech. This is where things can get a bit complex. For example, some states have stricter laws against hate speech than others. In California, hate speech can be penalized, while in other states, such as Texas, there is more leeway. It's crucial to know the specific laws of the state you're in to ensure you're exercising your right to free speech within the legal confines. Let's also touch on the digital realm. With the rise of social media platforms, we've seen an expansion of the public sphere where free speech is exercised. While these platforms are private entities and have their own rules for content moderation, they are still subject to U.S. laws. So, posts that violence or spread defamatory information can potentially have legal repercussions. It's also worth noting that freedom of speech extends beyond just spoken or written words. It includes other forms of expression too, like art, music, and even clothing. Yes, that's right. Your T-shirt slogan could be a form of protected speech. However, as with verbal or written expressions, there are limits. For instance, a T-shirt promoting violence wouldn't be protected under free speech laws. Lastly, it's important to remember that while the US cherishes its freedom of speech, it also values respect and dignity for all. So while you have the right to express your opinions, it's always good practice to do so in a way that respects others' rights and feelings. After all, the goal of free speech is to facilitate dialogue, not to harm or offend. Understanding the nuances of freedom of speech laws can help you express yourself appropriately and responsibly. So, whether you're planning a peaceful protest, composing a controversial song, or simply engaging in a heated debate, knowing the dialogue is good exercise. So, why bother learning about US laws? Well, let's recap. We've navigated the complex labyrinth of laws pertaining to private life, medicine, freedom of belief, and freedom of speech. Each of these areas holds its unique intricacies and nuances, ones that are essential for you to comprehend. Knowing US laws can prevent you from landing into unnecessary legal issues. It can save you from the hassle of dealing with foreign legal systems, which can be quite daunting. Being informed about the laws can empower you to confidently engage with the society, enhancing your overall travel experience. You'll find that understanding these laws doesn't just protect you, it can also help you appreciate the richness of the American culture, its diversity, the values it stands for, and the freedoms it cherishes. In the end, understanding US laws not only protects you, but can also enrich your journey in this diverse country.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.